Hey traders, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'm joined by my co-host here. His name is Blaze. He is a new kitten and he is so cute. He's one of my newest friends here behind the scenes. He's going to become the CEO someday, I'm sure. But today we're going to be talking about my trading performance. We're going to be talking about my MyFxBook.com. If you're not familiar with what this site actually is, this site is a way, a third-party company that allows traders to track their performance and share it with other people. And again, it's a third-party site, so they are kind of validating or verifying somebody's performance. Now, this site has two main purposes. Now, for me, number one, it's actually a great way to journal my trades. All the analytics here, you guys are completely able to, for free, track your own trading performance. And I actually really encourage anybody out there who's taken their trading seriously to do this. Take the time to set up a MyFxBook.com, track it on your performance, and it will give you some really honest analysis of how your trading is actually going. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go through mine today. This is one that I've made public for about 6 months here. This is starting right around the 2020 mark. I started trading or at least I started sharing this track record. And I'm gonna be honest with you, 2020 has been very, very crazy in the financial markets as well. So what we're gonna do here is I am going to basically go through my performance here, talk a little bit about it with you guys, and share some of the analysis. Now, you guys out there have seen a lot of different people out there on the internet who are sharing, the get rich quick kind of mentality. They're showing you that they're making huge money in the markets, but they will not, I almost guarantee you, if you ask those people who are the get rich quick people for a track record, they will not show it to you. And that's because they don't have what they are promising to give, which is massive gains. Let's face it, 19% to me is actually incredible. But if you only had $100 in your account, you're not going to get rich buying their course on 19% in 6 months. For me, this is an account that I have larger amounts of capital in. This is something that, this is kind of a slow and steady approach, and I've actually been really happy with the results. So without further ado, let's actually dive into the results. Again, I'll refresh the page here, and basically what you can see here is this is up to date. It is a weekend at the time of filming this, and currently the account has made gains of 19%. So what you'll notice is that the absolute gain is only 6.36%. Why is this lower than the gain up here? Well, the reason is because I've been depositing to this account, and this is something that I do on a regular basis, is I deposit money to my trading accounts over time, as honestly I think most traders should be doing, because this allows us to build capital over time, and to as we know, percentage gains mean more on larger amounts of money. So as I deposit more money to this account, these percentage gains mean more and more. This is compounding 101. And so you'll see that overall, the gains that I've made on the account are 19% just about. And we've had a really, really good run here. So this is about 6 months of performance so far, averaging about, the key metric here, averaging about 3% per month. Now, again, I know that people are going to, I always get criticism. I always get people who comment on this stuff saying, you should be gaining, 10%, 20%, 30% per month. And I get it. I hear, people out there who say that. And I got to say that it's one thing to shoot for that. It's very hard to actually back it up with a track record, first of all. Second of all, remember that this is a larger amount of capital, and I'm not as interested in taking higher risk. With that, sure, you could make 10%, 20% in a month, but you're gonna be taking a lot more risk, and you actually risk damaging the account at the same time. So it's something to be careful about. And with me, I'm mostly interested in the slow and steady. Blaze really wants to be a part of this video. I can feel it. Yeah, so as I was saying, basically overall 3% per month is actually, to me, very, very good when I'm talking about a larger amount of capital. When I'm talking about small accounts, it's a very different story. When you get into that bigger figures, when you're working with bigger amounts of money, at least in my opinion, I want to reduce that risk as much as possible and keep things slow and steady. With that said, 19% is actually really, really good. For me, I actually shoot for something like 20 to 30% per year. That would actually be a really, really good year to me. And so to see this at the 6 month mark up 19%, 15%, that's actually really, really good to me. This is results that I'm actually very, very happy with so far. So again, 3% per month. And at one point, the drawdown, it says 11%, but I think that MyFxBook honestly has some bugginess because there was not a time where I was down 11%, at least as far as I can remember. I don't know that this is entirely accurate. And then MyFxBook sometimes is a little bit buggy, a little bit inaccurate, but regardless, let's just assume even if it was 11% at one point, that's not the end of the world. I think it was more like 5% at the worst. So we'll see. He's up, he's down, he's up, he's down. Kind of like trading performance. But what you'll notice here is actually if we zoom in a little bit, what you will notice is he's so curious. He wants to see what's on the screen. We can see the equity chart over here doing really, really well. So the red line here is actually the balance and the yellow line is the equity chart, okay? And so with the equity, you can see that sometimes it's up and you can see the balance is actually not. That means I have open trades that are in profit. But what you'll notice here is actually if we zoom in at the beginning of the year, someone pointed this out. They said, you know, Nick, your performance was not doing very well for some time. You know, what was going on during this time, and good for you basically for sticking through it, which I definitely appreciate. Any strategy that you implement, it doesn't matter what it is going to have losing streaks or just times where things don't go well, okay? So in this case, this was my example. I actually had a month and a half of drawdown, which to most people would probably be the end of the world. And as a new trader, that certainly would have been, you know, I probably would have cut the strategy. But I had done a lot of homework on this strategy, a lot of prep before I did it, and, you know, stuck it out. And that actually resulted in, fast forward down to here, where we had an incredible month of March, catching almost 11% gains on the account in just 1 month. And that is right around here where we can see the big spike up. So if we reset the zoom, again, you can see that we had a long period of time here where things were not going well, and then things jumped all the way back up. The reason behind this is, again, I was taking a series of losses, small losses, not the end of the world, and at one point the account was down almost 3% from the initial balance. And then we had some really good trades. We actually caught some of the good trends that happened during the crash. We were actually on the right side of some of those moves, which caused this really, really nice gain overall, bringing us to up 8% on the account. Since then, we've had a lot of smooth sailing, and recently this week we had an incredible gain there on the GBP USD, which came down hard, and we caught some of the short side. So it's been very, very consistent, very good overall. Again, there's the equity chart in full. Very happy with how things have gone. Again, 3% per month on average, which to me is very, very good. Again, going back to that concept, a lot of times people will say that they can make, you know, 10, 20% per month, but very few people, all the people on the internet think of anybody that you watch and ask or go look to see if they have any sort of track record. And most people who are making the big claims and life-changing things about Forex don't have any sort of track record to back up what they're saying. They just have, you know, testimonials and stuff, which, you know, you could fudge or you could do whatever you want with. At the end of the day, what really, really makes a difference is showing some sort of verified track record from a third-party site like MyFxBook.com. That's why I love this site. And again, the second major point of why, going back to what I said earlier, journaling your trades is really cool. So if we go down to here, this is where some of the journaling comes in, and this is really, really cool stuff. So what you can see here is, we'll pop over here, we actually have a profit factor on this of 7.67%. That's actually very high. And I actually expect that to probably drop over time. I think that these performance is actually probably not sustainable for the long term. I think we've had a really good 6 months, and I don't really expect this to be as good forever. I expect there to be times again where we had, like in January, where things were just not going well, right? So you have to be careful. This is no guarantee that this is going to be like, you know, how it's going to be in the future. The goal is to continue to chug on, but there's never a guarantee, and so things can change. So I'm going to be continuing to implement the strategy, doing the best I can to stay consistent with it. But again, it's important that you can't look at these things and say, oh, this is a guarantee, whatever you're doing is making, you know, because then people will say, well, let me quadruple the lot size and get rich off of this, when there very well could be a drawdown around the corner. That's tough. So that's what I'm looking at here. Again, profit factor at this time of 7.67, which is incredibly high. I do not expect it to stay that high forever. Sharp ratio here of 0.47. The Sharp ratio is used to characterize how well the return of an asset compensates the investor for the risk taken. The higher the value, the better. So with that said, you can actually see also that the best trade in terms of pips, we had one gain of 880 pips, which was in March. Again, during all that crash, we were on the right side of some of that trade. And you can also see that, as we mentioned, in January being our worst month, in January we had a 145 pip loss, and that was our biggest loss. Okay, and then you've got some other interesting metrics right here. You can see that the average win on my trades is about 150 pips, and the average loss is about 81 pips, which is nice because that means that our gains are bigger than our losses, at least historically. We'll see if that stays the same. It really just depends how this goes into the future. You can see that we've had an overall net gain of about 3,800 pips since the start of the year. I know that there's a bunch of Telegram groups out there that will tell you, we make 1,000 pips per week and all that, but very tricky to do, especially if you're trading not crazy things. If you trade like USD TRY, which is the dollar lira, that can, make it look like you are making tons of pips, but it's really just an incredibly big moving instrument. So you have to be careful. There's a lot of stuff out there. People make a lot of claims. And at the end of the day, really the only thing that really matters, in my opinion, is somebody who actually has a track record. And that's why I've made sure to continuously update and implement strategies and concepts that I am trading on myfxbook.com. Because again, I believe that anybody who is talking about this stuff and trying to sell anything, which I do sell things, I run an online community. Granted, it's not meant to be a you buy and we make you money or anything like that, but it is an online community, and I find it valuable. I find it transparent to share a track record and share some sort of proof that you do what you say you do. And this is, to me, also again very, very important for my own trading, for my own journaling. This gives me a lot of clarity on my performance so that, like we're doing in this video, I can analyze it at a later date and see how things are going. Notice here, I thought this was interesting. My longs actually are almost an 80% win rate, where my shorts are actually only about a 63%, which is interesting. Maybe my long game is better than my short game. Maybe I'm just better at buying things than selling things. But I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys. So interesting little metric there. Now it comes back down to here. What you'll notice is that, again, we started this in January of 2020. The first month here, we had about a negative 1.5% loss. We had a negative 0.76% loss, and then we had our really good month, which was almost 11%. In April, we made about 3.2%. May, we made about 1.5%, and then this month has been really, really solid, almost netting 5%. We've still got about 10 or 11 days here on the rest of the month, so hopefully we can get that up to 5%. That would be incredible. But either ways, even if we gave back some of the profit, this would be a really great month as well. So overall, things are looking really good, and no, they are not overnight success. They're not overnight riches. If you had $1,000 in an account and you traded this just as I did, you're not a millionaire by any means. You're up decently, which to me is what it's all about, is not being up massively in a short period of time, but doing this consistently for years and years and years. That's where the real power of Forex, in my opinion, is going to be. This industry is so riddled with people who try and make it seem like it's a way to make a zillion bucks in a short period of time. And this right here is so important, is knowing that, this is what it really looks like to me after years of doing this. This is what, it looks like to me to actually be a profitable trader, to be consistent, is to do slow and steady. Just, forget all the nonsense, forget all the, betting it all on pound yen, or doing all in bets, as so many new traders, myself included when I was new, were doing, right? All in trades that were, horrible for your account if you were wrong, and you felt like a genius if you were right. But eventually, it almost always seems to play out in the negative way. It almost seems to always lose at the end. So again, very, very happy with this performance overall. You can see that, overall, again, here's a summary of what we talked about: 19% on the year, 3,900 pips in profit there, and about a win percentage of 71%. Now notice here, actually, one more thing that's interesting. We've only taken 46 trades here. Not a million trades. Now this is a swing trading account. For those of you guys who know my trading well, or you are a VIP member, by the way, there's information for that down below. You know that I don't trade a ton. I trade mostly just the swing trading. That's my favorite type of trading. I like that slow and steady approach. It gives me a chance to analyze my trades in detail and not feel rushed, and not feel like I have to take a bunch of trades or catch every session. it's nice for me. It's personally how I prefer to do it. I run a media company. I've got a lot of things that I do. So swing trading kind of fits my schedule a little bit better, and it also is just more comfortable for me. I feel more able to find good trades and kind of let them run for a few days rather than in out all the time. So that's kind of my thoughts there. So again, only 46 trades on this account. I run multiple accounts though. Other strategies may be a little bit more active or aggressive, but this is kind of a slow and steady account that I've been building again since 2020 started. So let me know what you guys think down below. I hope that you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. I hope that maybe this encourages you to look into the slow and steady approach. That is the only way that I've been able to be profitable. It is not, big riches. I've never personally found any sort of success trying to go big all the time and make, 30% per month or anything like that. Almost inevitably, it blows up accounts. I've never seen it work for anybody for a long period of time. If you have somebody who has a track record that shows, 1 year plus of making 30% per month, I would be fascinated to see it. And with a reliable broker, that's the other thing is this broker, OANDA, is regulated in the US. They're not going to fudge anything, but some smaller brokers you'll see sometimes on MyFxBook, people will make it look like they're using or they're making tons of percents, and sometimes they're using a very sketchy unregulated broker, which can you can manipulate, and I don't know if there's partnerships behind the closed doors that make it look like they've made 100,000% on their account or whatever, but just be very careful. This is, to me, if you're going to be analyzing a MyFxBook.com account, very important that you've got a well-regulated broker, that you've got decent, never go for the too good to be true gains on MyFxBook.com. If you see somebody making 20,000%, it is almost certainly fake. It is almost certainly fudged in some way or another. But using regulated brokers, I don't even think that that's possible. Just be careful out there, guys. Whoever you watch, whoever you look at, if they have a track record, there's some really great guys and girls out there who do have track records that I respect very much in the trading industry. I'm not the only one, but I find it, again, those people are the ones that again and again, time and time again, you can see it in the way they talk. I've been doing this for a long time. I can see who the profitable traders are, and I can see who are the not profitable traders. And I don't name names, but I want you guys to be careful out there. Go find people who do what they say they do. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you back next time. Thank you.